Hey everyone, and welcome back. Now today I wanted to address a question that I think might be creeping back into many of our minds, and that's the question of, can Doge hit $1? Obviously lately we've seen Doge do kind of an astronomical run up, not back to previous all-time highs, but I mean I think it's like 2 or 3x in the past like couple weeks. So obviously very, very good movement. We're going to be looking at the chart here in a second to take a look at, like, more importantly, we've seen an insane amount of volume come back to Doge as well, which in my opinion is more important than the price action. If we can see that volume continue to sustain itself, then I do think we could potentially see that. But anyway, let's go on ahead, check out the charts and the details and kind of go into this, and let's dive right in. So starting out, let's look at crypto bubbles, because what we can see on crypto bubbles is a pretty mixed day in the market. Obviously it's overall a red day, but still some coins performing pretty well. Obviously, Brett doing quite well, Litecoin, Caspa obviously being great because that one had kind of been lagging behind Sui and Aptos and Say and some of these other kind of high performers of this market. XRP doing obviously quite well, HBAR well, Pepe, Mog, but overall kind of a pretty much like overall downtrend in the day. We can see most bubbles here are in fact red. But moving on, looking at the Doge chart, what we can see is Doge has done really quite well. I mean, if we look at like right before the election on November 3rd, we can see price was somewhere around about 15 cents. I guess it wicked as low as like 14.5 cents. And now we're sitting up at 37 cents with highs being over 40. And what we can see is there's a couple different things that I want to unpack here. We'll start with the fib retracement, because on the fib retracement, we could see we ran into a little bit of resistance here at the 0.236. And then we basically just kind of shot all the way up to this 0.5. We have seen some wicks kind of above it, but never really kind of holding a sustained break above this 0.5. So I do think we will probably see a little bit of difficulty breaking this level of resistance here. But obviously, like, pretty good momentum. As I mentioned before, an insane amount of volume, which this, in my opinion, is kind of more what we want to be looking at and hoping this kind of continues to hold. Because prior to, I mean, the volume was tiny compared to what we're seeing now. We're seeing orders of magnitudes larger in terms of volume coming back into Doge, which is really, really good. I think there's a couple reasons for this. Part of it is, I think most of it is because Elon has been selected to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, which coincidentally has the same initials as Doge, which Elon has been known to kind of bullpost before. So I think that's probably the major reason. But also, we're seeing meme coins come back, right? And like, Doge is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to meme coins, and even like meme coins really even being a thing, because prior to Doge they weren't. So I do think it makes sense that we are seeing volume return back to Doge. Now there's a couple things that I want to talk about today specifically. I mean, the main one being, can Doge get back to $1 and what would that look like? But before we get into that, we can see RSI still very, very much overbought. We're going to probably see some level of retracement back here. I mean, I think we could see maybe back down to this like 0.382 range. If not, it's likely that we may even fall all the way back to this 0.236 range. Hard to say. I mean, maybe if we put in a decent chunk of volume kind of at this level of resistance, we could see price recover. We can see, even like just looking at this from here to here, we could see kind of a trend downward, where at the same points on the chart, we've actually seen a trend upward. So this is bullish divergence. Obviously, it's a very, very like small, like limited view of that, but this is overall a good thing, because what we're seeing is essentially price, or like relative strength, is coming down faster than prices, which is good because it gives us more room to kind of keep moving to the upside. And so we're going to want to hopefully continue to see more of that. I mean, realistically, if we could keep bouncing in this range, I don't know if this will actually happen. That this seems pretty like an optimistic thing to think, but even if we kept bouncing in this range while this kind of came all the way back down into the kind of the strong or neutral territory, that'd be fantastic. Like I said, I don't think that's going to happen, but it could be. Ultimately, right now, probably not the best time to buy Doge, in my opinion. Obviously, you make your own decisions. This isn't financial advice. I could be totally wrong, because I don't know for sure what's going to happen. But what we can see is definitely like things are looking overextended. That's not to say anything about the long-term viability of the coin, but right now, things look like we might be seeing some sort of pullback coming here soon. Now, if you are interested in trading all of these different meme coins and things like that, especially recently where things have just kind of exploded, feel free to use my link to Margex in the description below. Margex is really nice because you can trade up to 100x leverage with no VPN or KYC needed, which is really nice because it's super quick. You just essentially get signed up, get started, and you can get up to $10,000 in deposit bonuses. So it's a very, very nice platform. As you can see, I do most of my trading here and charting. You can see I do still have my Bitcoin long trade open. Bitcoin has pulled back a little bit, so I'm not up as much as I was, but since I am am playing with, relatively lower leverage, I'm not super worried about this getting liquidated unless we see a much larger pullback within the market, which again is always possible. But for right now, I'm not necessarily expecting that to happen. So, we could do the same thing with Doge. I probably wouldn't be placing a buy here, and I'm way too scared to short anything in this type of market. But maybe if we see a pullback to this level, put some volume in around here, or even just put some volume in around here and kind of develop a relatively strong point of support in kind of one area or the other, then I do think kind of a relatively low leverage long could be, potentially a good idea. So anyway, not financial advice, make your own decisions. But if you are interested in looking to start trading, I would say Margex is a really great place to start. Now, moving on, I want to take a look at CoinGecko, because here is basically where we're going to find all of our data to get a relatively reasonable assessment of if Doge can hit $1. Now, if we look at the price chart, we can see here at the top, we hit highs of just shy of 70 cents back here in 2021. This was kind of like peak mania for the bull market. We did see some highs kind of coming later on, but this is when Elon was like majorly bull posting Doge and a lot of that type of stuff. What we can see is we've currently seen a recovery and the highest prices we actually have seen since about June of 2021. So definitely some massive moves here on Doge, which is great to see. Definitely breaking the earlier highs that we saw back in March and really doing quite well, at least so far. We can see that Doge is sitting at a $56 billion market cap, which is insane for a meme coin. We're going to take a look at this question probably in another video, but I mean, obviously a massive market cap. And given that we're only at 38 cents, it's basically relatively simple to do a pretty quick calculation of what type of market cap we would need to see for Doge to hit $1. Because as I've explained many times on the channel, for those of you who are new and maybe don't already understand this, market cap is really what we need to be looking at, because price is somewhat arbitrary. I mean, you want a higher price, introduce lower coins. You want a lower price, introduce more coins. Like, it's a pretty simple concept, but basically the way to get around that and essentially compare everything apples to apples is look at market cap. And so the calculation that we're doing here is a relatively simple calculation. So the first thing we can see is if we want to get to $1, we need to divide it by the current price, which is 38 cents. And then essentially we see how much price needs to go up to get to $1. And that's about 2.61x is what we get to. Now, if we take that 2.61x and multiply it by the current market cap, we can see this is the market cap that we would see if Doge were to hit $1 right now. I mean, now Doge, as you can see, it has no max supply. It is essentially perpetually inflationary. So this market cap will continue to go up the further down the road we get. It would have been much easier for Doge to hit $1 here in May of 2021 than it's going to be right now, just because the circulating supply is more than it was at that point in time. So that's an important thing to realize. What we can see is if Doge were to hit this $146 billion mark, it would be the third largest coin by market cap, at least at this point in time. Obviously, if we continue to move further down into the bull market, I'm imagining that, like probably Solana will have caught up, Tether will have continued to run, Ethereum continuing to run, all that type of stuff. I'm imagining, kind of all of these will kind of move their way up. But at least at this point in time, that would make Doge the third largest meme coin in terms of market cap, which is a little bit silly. And so that brings me to my next question of, well, can Doge hit $1? And I think, honestly, I think it's very possible. And given some of the things that we've seen so far in this market, it is maybe, I wouldn't say probable, but it's got a somewhat reasonable chance of doing that, right? I mean, 146 billion is a massive amount of money. However, what we can see, though, is, I mean, Bitcoin has really taken off like a rocket. Solana done extremely well. So like there's a ton of money. We can see, we looked at this in a video yesterday, but the open interest throughout the crypto market has absolutely exploded. And I would say we're in a relatively like early season of the crypto bull market. And so there's a lot more opportunity for us to continue to like see this run up. And the crypto, like the total market cap of the crypto space right now is over $3 trillion. So I mean, I think it's possible that we could see a 4 or 5, maybe even $6 trillion market cap. I think between 5 and 6 trillion possibly being the most likely, but it's really hard to say. If we were to get to that point, $150 billion starts to seem maybe a little bit less crazy when we're talking about things like that. Bitcoin maybe even hitting $2.5, $3 trillion in market cap. Ethereum maybe hitting 700-800 billion potentially. Solana 400-500 billion. A lot of that types. If we're seeing those types of numbers happening, I think Doge to 150 billion-ish is possible, right? Now, this brings me to my next question, and this is something that I'm probably going to be talking more at length in a future video, probably a video that I release tomorrow. So if you are interested, please do subscribe and turn on the notifications, because then you'll get notified when I release that video. But what I'm going to be talking about is is like, obviously we're essentially assuming that Doge could do like a 2.6x, and it seems possible that it could hit $1, right? Well, is that the best like bang for your buck, right? What does it make sense to put, go all in on Doge, or should you be looking at some various other meme coins that might produce some better kind of like risk to reward metrics? And so that's ultimately what I'm going to be looking at. If you are interested, like I said, please do subscribe. Also, if you found the information in this video useful, a like really also does go a long way. So if you would do both of those, it really does help me out, and it also helps push the channel to more people within the crypto market, so they can learn more about this type of stuff, to make sure that they're being safe and trading smart, all that type of stuff. Also, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, feel free to drop in the comment section below. I do try to read and respond to all of them, so if you have anything you want me to see, that would probably be the best way to do it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.